Okay, here we have the Haya Chieftain MK5 upgrade kit. This is the just arrived prototype. There's going to be one or two little tweaks, but as it is at the moment, this is pretty much it. Now, it's a simple thing to fit without too much cutting, gluing. Well, we've reduced as much as that as possible. It's most of it literally just clicks or sticks on direct to the model. As you can see, we've got the filter box, number 6 filter. We've got the later engine deck, clansman radio box, MRS projector. We've got the top of the commander's cupola, got the cowling that goes on the end of the gun muzzle, and the later version gun travel lock. This is just a stencil for fitting the MRS in the correct position on top of the turret. Now we can move those over the way. Show you it as it is, all incomplete. As you can see on here, we've got the radio box, MRS, filter box, engine deck. Up here we have the cowling on the end of the gun, and turn it round, the later version travel lock. Now the filter box does open, same as everything else on the tank. Now the travel lock technically should be in the centre now. That's easily adjusted if you wish to do so by moving the two pegs to the right and reattaching the travel lock. Right. Now to fit, well, let's just go back to this a second. Most of this is very simple to fit without any cutting or very minimum modelling technique or skills. The engine deck, for example, quite literally clicks on top. Glue would be useful to really tie it in nicely, and a little bit of filler if you want, but you shouldn't need to do much at all to get this to stay in position. Underneath the engine deck you have a series of small pegs and these ribs that click it into the moulding on the engine deck. Right, the turret's the only awkward one. The real awkward bit is you have to take the turret off and open the turret up to fit the filter box. In the best traditions of Blue Peter, here's one I prepared earlier. Now, the filter box from the original one, it's literally just slides out, nice and easy, and you simply replace it with a number 6, like so. That's as easy as it gets. And replacing the bottom of the turret locks everything back into position. I'll just pop that back together. Leave that out for a moment. The other parts, cupola, commander's cupola. It's simply a disc that matches the fittings on top of the cupola. You have to take off the searchlight and sight on top of the turret, on top of the cupola here. They should be able to tease that off using a variety of things. I use small chisels. They can be, leave it underneath and teasing, just to tease that should pop off nice and easy. Now once you've done that, there's two ways you can do this. You can either disconnect the wire from the plug inside the tank and feed the wires back through the centre hole here, a little row of 3 and one separate one on the left there. You can feed the wires back through that, or you can cut a small slit from that centre hole, just by here, and that can be eased over the wire, so the wire now sits in that hole. And this simply, once it's all in position, lines up over the top of the fittings and glues in place. And then this will be popped back straight back in again. And the MG goes on the side, as you can see on this one. So it all sits in place. Okay. Now the other potential fiddly one is the Klansman box. You have the original aerial mount on the side here. Now hopefully it depends on how much glue it was used in the factory. This one, fortunately, not very much, so it popped off quite nice and easy. Again, using something like the chisel, you can pop it above it and tease it out. And likewise, the extinguisher. Again, you can tease it out, provided there's not too much glue on it. If there is too much glue on it, it can get a little bit messy, and you can end up having a little bit of problem and have to clean it all out. The radio box itself has a fitting inside that matches this fitting here, so that should, well, it will, go exactly in position in place where the original aerial fitting was, and putting the Klansman as it should be on the turret. To fill the holes, you've got a choice. You can either use the pegs off the extinguisher or leave them in, just cut the extinguisher away, leaving the pegs with the holes filled, with a dab of paint, it's gone. The holes are plugged up. Right, that's the Klansman. Now, next one is the MRS projector. As I said before, this comes with a handy little stencil. It's double-sided adhesive, which will simply stick in position. It goes quite nicely. Just stick it there, drill the holes, unpeel it, and that will just pop straight back into the top in the right place. So that'll be in position as you see on the other one. Again, minimum fuss, minimum bother. Now it's a matter of choice. You can either use those pegs or you can take those away and glue it directly onto the top. Again, the choice. The gun reference cowling at the end, it's shaped exactly to the gun muzzle, so that will only require a little drop of glue and a careful eye to make sure it's actually square. It's in the right, it's not tilted off to one side. When you're doing this, make sure the gun barrel is screwed in properly, firmly. You'll find you've got half a turn to go and you've stuck it on wrong. Not a major problem, it can be popped off again and re-glued once in position. And that's pretty much it. That's the Mark 5 upgrade for the Chieftain from Haya.